Shadow work. Shadow work. Welcome to today's reading session. Step into the depths of self-discovery with Shadow Work, reading Book 10. Together, we'll explore the hidden corners of the mind and uncover the truths that lead to growth and healing. Let's begin this transformative journey. Your healing, growth and transformation. Shadow work is the process of facing your darkness not with judgment but with compassion. It's about looking into the mirror and embracing the parts of yourself that you've been taught to reject. Your anger, fear, shame and doubt are not enemies, they are messengers. They carry the wounds of your past and the truths you've been too afraid to confront. The more you push them away, the more they will control you, but when you acknowledge and integrate them, you reclaim your power. The shadow is not evil, it is simply the aspects of yourself that you have repressed. When you suppress these emotions, they don't disappear, they operate in the background, influencing your decisions, your relationships and your self-worth. They create patterns of self-sabotage, fear-based thinking and inner conflict. But when you turn toward your shadow, you unlock the ability to heal these hidden wounds, and in doing so you become whole. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. True empowerment comes from embracing the full spectrum of who you are. Light cannot exist without darkness, and your greatest strength lies in your ability to hold both. When you face your shadow, you gain insight into your deepest motivation and unspoken desires. You begin to understand why you act the way you do, and this awareness gives you the freedom to make conscious choices rather than being driven by unconscious fears. This book is your guide to exploring the depths of your shadow and learning how to transform it into your greatest asset. Through shadow work, you will uncover the hidden parts of yourself that hold immense power. You will discover that your darkness is not something to fear but a wellspring of creativity, passion and wisdom. Are you ready to meet your shadow, embrace it and make it your ally? The journey toward wholeness begins now. Your dark side is waiting, and it's your best friend. You're familiar with your public persona, but have you ever dug deep into your shadow self? This darker side, often ignored or suppressed, carries our fears, insecurities and unresolved issues. The domain of shadow work offers a path to recognize, understand and accept these hidden aspects, turning them into powerful allies for personal growth and self-improvement. Imagine the liberation of integrating your entire self, shadows included. Let's explore a shadow work walkthrough. We noticed that 69% of you who listen to our video are not yet subscribed to the channel. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Chapter 1: Understanding the concept of shadow work. Diving into the domain of shadow work can feel akin to traversing a labyrinth in the dark, yet understanding its concept can shed light on this journey, making it less intimidating and more enlightening for you. Think of shadow work as a psychological excavation of your subconscious. It's an introspective journey that encourages you to confront and accept the parts of yourself that you've hidden, suppressed or denied. These parts, often deemed as negative or unacceptable, are your shadow. But don't be deterred. This isn't about self-deprecation, it's about self-awareness and growth. Your shadow is a repository of emotions, behaviors and thoughts that somewhere along the line you've deemed unworthy of being part of your conscious identity. It's not about bad traits, but rather traits that you've disowned due to societal norms, personal experiences or fear of judgment. However, these parts aren't your enemies, they're integral to who you are and have a significant impact on your life whether you acknowledge them or not. Shadow work is the process of reintegrating these aspects back into your consciousness. It's about acknowledging that you're a mix of light and shadow, not just the shiny, acceptable parts that you present to the world. It's a journey of acceptance, understanding and compassion towards all facets of yourself. Chapter 2: Reflecting on past emotional pains. Venturing on this part of your journey, you might feel a sense of trepidation. It's natural and even necessary. Reflecting on past emotional pains can be intimidating, even terrifying. However, it's vital to understand that the unease you're experiencing is the key to accessing your shadow self. Remember, your past emotional pains aren't just there to haunt you, they carry invaluable lessons and insights into your personality. They're like a road map guiding you back to the very core of who you are, unfiltered and untamed. The dark side, your shadow self, isn't an enemy to fear but a lost friend waiting to be reclaimed. The process starts with honesty. You've got to face those past hurts head on, no matter how much they sting. This doesn't mean wallowing in self-pity or bitterness. It's about approaching your wounds with empathy and understanding, allowing yourself the space to feel and reflect without judgment. Take note, this isn't an easy task. It requires courage, patience, and a lot of self-love. There's no quick fix, nor is there a one-size-fits-all solution. The journey is unique to each individual, just as every shadow is unique, but trust me, it's worth it. Reflecting on your past emotional pains allows you to reclaim your power, to turn your weakness into strengths. It's a path to self-awareness, healing, and growth. It's a way to turn the darkness into light, to make your dark side your best friend. Chapter 3: Identifying repressed emotions and desires. In the domain of shadow work, identifying repressed emotions and desires is your next critical step. This phase, though challenging, is the nucleus of self-discovery and personal growth. It's about acknowledging and accepting those parts of you that you've pushed down, hidden, or denied. It's important to recognize that we all have repressed emotions and desires. They're not inherently bad or something to be ashamed of. Instead, they're part of the rich tapestry that makes you who you are. They're the feelings and longings you've been taught or conditioned to ignore or suppress due to societal norms, personal fears, or past traumas. So how do you identify these hidden parts of yourself? Start by looking for patterns in your behavior, especially those that cause you discomfort or distress. Are you constantly struggling with anger, guilt, or jealousy? Do you find yourself seeking approval or validation from others? These could be clues to what lies in your shadow. Next, pay attention to your dreams. Often your subconscious mind uses dreams to express repressed feelings and desires. Look for recurring themes or characters that might represent parts of your shadow self. Chapter 4: Exploring unconscious beliefs and biases. Now let's turn our attention to the exploration of unconscious beliefs and biases. You may not realize it, but these are often the unseen forces propelling your actions, shaping your thoughts, and defining your perceptions of reality. They're hidden in the shadows, yet they wield immense power over your life. Think about it. What are some beliefs you've held since childhood, perhaps passed down from your parents, teachers, or society? Are there biases you've unknowingly adopted that are affecting your decisions and relationships? It's crucial to dig deep and question these. You might find that some beliefs are outdated, unhelpful, or not even truly yours. But how do you uncover something unconscious? It's not easy, but it's possible. Start by observing your reactions in different situations. What triggers strong emotions in you? Do you find yourself overreacting or underreacting in certain circumstances? These could hint at underlying beliefs and biases. Journaling can also be a valuable tool. Write down your thoughts, feelings, dreams, and reactions. Over time, patterns may emerge, shedding light on your hidden beliefs. You can also consider seeking the help of a therapist or coach who can provide objective insights and guide you in the process of self-discovery. Chapter 5: Facing your fears and insecurities. Often you might find yourself haunted by fears and insecurities that seem to pop up at the most inconvenient times. They're not just phantoms, these are genuine parts of your psyche, and they demand your attention. Recognizing them for what there is the first pivotal step towards engaging in Effective shadow work. Fears and insecurities can be persistent, gnawing at your self-esteem and coloring your perception of the world. They're like invisible chains holding you back from reaching your true potential. But remember, it's okay to be afraid and insecure. Everyone is at some point or another. It's part of being human. The key isn't to express these feelings but to confront them head-on. This is where the analytical part of shadow work comes in. Start by identifying your fears and insecurities. What were they? Where do they stem from? Are they rational or irrational? These are tough questions but necessary ones. They require you to look inward, to dig deep into your past experiences and emotions. It's an introspective journey that demands courage and honesty. Just as important as identifying your fears and insecurities is understanding how they influence your behavior. Are they causing you to avoid certain situations, to act out in ways you later regret? By understanding these connections, you can start to reshape your responses and reclaim control over your life. In the end, facing your fears and insecurities isn't about eliminating them but about learning to coexist with them. It's about finding the balance between acknowledging their presence and not letting them dictate your actions. Chapter 6: Embracing your perceived flaws. Just as you face your fears and insecurities, you must also learn to embrace your perceived flaws. They're not your enemies but rather significant aspects of your individuality. In the domain of shadow work, acknowledging these perceived flaws is the first step towards transformation. You see, your perceived flaws are often those parts of yourself that you've judged harshly or tried to hide. They're the traits you might have labeled as bad or wrong. But let's shift that perspective. Consider this: aren't those traits also reflections of your strengths? Your stubbornness, for instance, could also mean you're resolute and committed. Furthermore, your flaws can serve as your greatest teachers. They can guide you towards the aspects of your life that need attention or improvement. Maybe your impatience pushes you to be more efficient and time conscious. Perhaps your tendency to overthink leads you to be thorough and detail oriented. So instead of shunning these parts of yourself, invite them in, understand them, embrace them. They're part of what makes you you. And remember, no one is without flaws. It's part of being human. However, embracing your flaws isn't about excusing poor behavior or shrugging off personal growth. It's about accepting that these traits exist within you and using that knowledge as a stepping stone towards self-improvement. Chapter 7: Cultivating self-compassion and acceptance. In the journey of shadow work, cultivating self-compassion and acceptance is possibly one of the most critical steps. It's about recognizing your worth even when you're at your lowest. It's about accepting that you're flawed, but those flaws don't define you. They're part of what makes you uniquely you. Self-compassion means being gentle with yourself, reminding yourself that you're human and it's okay to make mistakes. You're allowed to have off days. You're allowed to not be perfect. Acceptance, on the other hand, is coming to terms with your perceived shortcomings. It's about acknowledging that you have areas you need to work on without belittling yourself. You might think, why should I be compassionate to myself? I've made so many mistakes. But remember, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has flaws. They're part of being human. It's how you grow from those mistakes that truly matter. So cut yourself some slack. Embrace self-compassion by challenging your harsh inner dialogue instead of berating yourself for your mistakes. Learn from them. Use the stepping stones towards growth and self-improvement. Acceptance follows when you stop fighting against your perceived flaws and start understanding them as part of your journey. Cultivating self-compassion and acceptance isn't about ignoring your dark side. It's about understanding it, learning from it, and using it as a tool for growth. It's a process and it might take time, but it's an essential step in shadow work. So take a deep breath and start the journey of self-compassion and Acceptance. It's time to be your own best friend. Chapter 8, Releasing Negative Thought Patterns. As you journey towards self-understanding and growth, releasing negative thought patterns becomes a significant step. This is a challenging process, but it's totally doable. You've likely developed these thought patterns over a long period and they've been reinforced by habit and experience, but remember they're not permanent fixtures in your mind. Negative thoughts are often an unconscious response to fear, insecurity, or trauma. They can distort your perception of yourself and the world around you, creating unnecessary stress and preventing you from reaching your full potential. Hence, identifying these patterns, understanding their origins, and consciously choosing to let them go is crucial. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice when you're engaging in self-criticism, catastrophizing, or other negative thought patterns. Once you've identified these patterns, trace them back to their roots. What experiences or beliefs are they connected to? This insight can help you recognize that these patterns aren't inherent truths but rather conditioned responses. Next, begin the process of releasing. This might involve affirmations, meditation, or journaling. Whatever helps you rewrite those patterns with more positive, empowering thoughts. This isn't about denying or suppressing the negative but replacing it with a more compassionate and accepting perspective. Releasing negative thought patterns in shadow work can feel like shedding layers of old skin. This is a liberating, albeit uncomfortable process, but it's worth it. As you let go of these harmful patterns, you're making room for a healthier, more balanced mindset, and that's a huge stride towards embracing your shadow as your best friend. Chapter N, Integrating the Shadow into Wholeness. Moving forward on this journey of shadow work, the next pivotal step is integrating the shadow into wholeness. The stage requires courage and determination. It's about accepting and embracing rather than fighting or denying the dark parts of your personality. Think of your shadow as the disowned child of your consciousness. It's part of you, but you've kept it hidden due to fear or shame. Now it's time to bring it into the light, to acknowledge its existence and value. It may seem counterintuitive, but your shadow holds powerful insights about who you are, and integrating it can lead to profound personal growth. Start by acknowledging your shadow. Listen to its messages without judgment. It might voice fears, insecurities, or desires that you'd rather not admit. Recognize these feelings as valid parts of your human experience. Remember, your shadow isn't evil or bad, it's simply a part of you that needs attention and compassion. Next, practice acceptance. This doesn't mean condoning negative behavior, but rather accepting that all parts of you, even the uncomfortable ones, serve a purpose. Your shadow might protect you from pain or alert you to unmet needs. Chapter 10, Developing Emotional Maturity and Resilience. Building on your journey into shadow work, we now turn our attention to developing emotional maturity and resilience. Emotional maturity isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about understanding them and managing them effectively. As you plunge deeper into shadow work, you'll likely encounter emotions that you've suppressed, ignored, or avoided. This is where emotional maturity comes into play. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you start to confront these hidden aspects of yourself. You might feel tempted to retreat, to bury these feelings again, but remember, it's a process and it's okay to feel uncomfortable. That's where resilience comes in. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going even when things are tough. It's an essential quality to develop as you navigate the often challenging terrain of shadow work. As you explore your dark side, you'll inevitably face moments of discomfort and resistance. Resilience empowers you to keep going, to continue the journey no matter what comes your way. It's not about avoiding discomfort, but about learning to navigate it. Developing emotional maturity and resilience takes time and Practice it involves becoming more mindful of your emotions, understanding what triggers them and learning to manage them effectively. It also involves developing a kind of mental toughness, a resilience that allows you to face your shadows head on and keep going. As you cultivate these qualities, you'll find that they not only enhance your shadow work but also enrich your life in general. Chapter 11: Unlocking Creativity and Intuition in Your Journey of Shadow work. Unshackling creativity and intuition can serve as a powerful tool. Your dark side isn't just a source of pain and challenging emotions, it's also a wellspring of creative energy and intuitive wisdom. When you embrace your shadow, you're giving yourself permission to explore new paths, make original connections, and tap into your deepest, most instinctive knowledge. Yet you might wonder, how do you actually access this potential? First, you must be willing to face your shadow, no matter how uncomfortable it may seem. This work isn't about eliminating your shadow, but rather integrating it into your self-concept. It's about acknowledging that your dark side is part of who you are and it has its own unique gifts to offer. Next, encourage your creativity by giving it space to flow. This might mean setting aside time each day for free writing, painting, or any other creative pursuit that calls to you. Don't judge what comes out, just let it be. You're not aiming for perfection but for authenticity. Your intuition too can be honed through practices like meditation, dream work, or even simple mindfulness exercises. The goal here is to quiet your conscious mind so that your intuition can speak more loudly. Listen to it, trust it. It's your inner compass guiding you through the shadows and into the light. Chapter 12: Improving Relationships and Boundaries. Drawing upon the well of inner wisdom you've tapped through shadow work, you are now better equipped to cultivate healthier relationships and establish stronger boundaries. But what does that look like in practice? Firstly, you need to realize that every relationship, be it with friends, family, or a significant other, is a mirror reflecting back your inner state. If you're dealing with turmoil, it's likely this is being projected onto your relationships. Shadow work provides an avenue for you to acknowledge and address these inner disturbances, thereby improving your outward connections. Secondly, you'll likely find that as you become more aligned with your true self, your tolerance for relationships that drain you or demand too much will lessen. Your boundaries become clearer and stronger. You'll start to understand that it's okay to say no, when to protect your emotional energy. As a result, the relationships that remain will be those that nurture and respect your boundaries, leading to a more fulfilling network of connections. Remember, this isn't about blaming others for relationship difficulties, but rather about taking responsibility for your part in them. It's about recognizing how your shadow self may be influencing your interactions and taking steps to address this. Chapter 13: Overcoming Destructive Behaviors and Addictions. Some of us may be grappling with destructive behaviors or addictions, often a coping mechanism to avoid facing our shadow self. You might be finding solace in vices or harmful habits because they provide an escape, a way to numb the pain of unaddressed issues buried deep within. However, these behaviors can end up controlling you, causing even more pain and turmoil. They're not solutions, they're band-aids covering wounds that need proper healing. To overcome these destructive behaviors and addictions, it's vital to confront your shadows, those aspects of yourself that you've denied or suppressed. Start by acknowledging these behaviors. Recognize them as manifestations of a deeper issue rather than isolated problems. It's not easy, but it's a necessary step. You've to be honest with yourself about your struggles and where they're rooted. Next, practice self-compassion. It's easy to judge yourself harshly for these behaviors, but remember, they coping mechanisms you've developed in response to pain. Treat yourself with kindness and patience as you work through this. Then begin the process of shadow Work explore your emotions, triggers, and the underlying issues contributing to your behaviors. This process can be challenging and could bring up painful memories or feelings, but it's essential for healing. Lastly, seek professional help if needed. Both therapists and counselors can provide guided support through this process and offer tools and strategies to manage these behaviors. Chapter 14: Enhancing Spiritual Awareness and Connection. Venturing on a journey of shadow work has another profound benefit. It enhances your spiritual awareness and connection. As you excavate deeper into your inner psyche and confront your shadow self, you're not just ridding yourself of negative patterns but also fostering a profound bond with your spiritual core. This domain of self-discovery isn't easy, but it's incredibly rewarding, like discovering a new dimension of yourself that's been waiting to be embraced. You'll start noticing the synchronicities in life, the signs and messages that were always there but invisible to you. Your intuition will become sharper, guiding you with a newfound wisdom. These are the whispers of your spiritual self breaking through the barriers of your subconscious. It's as if you've opened a gateway within you, stepping into a world where you're more attuned to your soul's journey and the universe's rhythm. Your interactions with others will become deeper too. You'll perceive the world around you with an empathetic lens, understanding that everyone has a shadow self. This realization can lead to profound connections as you'll recognize the shared human experience in all of its complexity. In essence, shadow work isn't just about healing, it's about transformation. It's about turning your dark side into your best friend, your ally. As you reconcile with your shadow, you'll also connect with your spiritual self, your source of wisdom, peace, and compassion. It's an extraordinary journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening that's absolutely worth the effort. Chapter 15: Transforming Limiting Identities and Roles. While you've been journeying through the landscape of your subconscious, you may have uncovered thoughts in ways you're not even aware of. They can be masks you weave to fit in, avoid pain, or feel safe. But remember, these aren't your authentic self. Transforming these limiting identities involves first acknowledging their existence. You can't change what you're not aware of. Pay attention to patterns in your behaviors and emotions and question where they might be coming from. Are they truly yours, or are they born out of a need to conform, form, or protect yourself? Next, it's important to understand that these roles served a purpose at one point. Even if they're hindering you now, they may have been survival mechanisms or ways to navigate a difficult environment. It's okay to thank them for their service and then let them go. You're not discarding a part of yourself, you're simply releasing what no longer serves you. Lastly, start building new empowering identity. This isn't about creating a perfect self, but rather embracing all aspects of your being, including your shadow, and integrating them into a whole, balanced self. This process takes time, compassion, and courage, but the result is a more authentic you. After all, your dark side is your best friend, guiding you towards your true potential. Chapter 16: Reclaiming Suppressed Power and Authenticity. As you begin to peel away the layers of limiting identities, a new chapter of your journey unfolds. Reclaiming suppressed power and authenticity. This process isn't about becoming something you're not, but rather about rediscovering who you've always been beneath the layers of societal expectations and self-imposed limitations. Your power and authenticity aren't something external to be gained, but innate qualities suppressed over time. You've been taught to conform, to fit in, to not rock the boat. You've learned to suppress parts of yourself that didn't align with the world's expectations, but within you lies a unique power, a genuine self-yearning for expression. The key here is to start listening to your inner voice. What does it say? It's often drowned out by the noise of everyday life and the voices of others, but when you quiet your mind, you'll hear whispering your truth. It's telling you what feels right and what doesn't, showing you where your power lies. Reclaiming your power and authenticity involves releasing guilt and shedding shame around who you are. It's about embracing all parts of yourself, even those you've been told are too much or not enough. It's standing Firm in your truth even when it's uncomfortable. Chapter 17, Fostering deeper self-understanding in honesty. When venturing on the path toward deeper self-understanding and honesty can feel like a formidable journey, it's not always easy. Confronting your own shadows, those parts of yourself you'd rather leave in the dark, but you're capable, you're stronger than you think, and your dedication to understanding yourself more deeply will guide you through the process. Shadow work isn't about unearthing your darkness to punish yourself, but rather to illuminate your truth. It's about peeling back the layers of your self-deception and facing your fears, insecurities, and hidden desires. It's about learning to be honest with yourself even when it's uncomfortable. This honesty is a gift you give to yourself, a vital step in fostering a healthy relationship with your dark side. Rest assured, this process won't be quick and it won't be painless. You'll be delving into areas of your psyche that you've likely spent a lifetime avoiding. But it's necessary. It's an investment in your well-being, your relationships, and your personal growth. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions, and acknowledging the impact they've on your life. As you set out on this journey, remember to be gentle with yourself. You're not trying to fix yourself, you're trying to understand yourself. You're not seeking to erase your shadows, you're learning to inter them. This is your journey towards deeper self-understanding and honesty, and believe us, it's a journey well worth taking. Chapter 18, Developing empathy and compassion for others. Through your journey of self-understanding and honesty, you're not only discovering your own truth but also opening the door to a deeper connection with others. As you unravel your shadow self, understanding your own complexities and vulnerabilities, you're primed to develop empathy and compassion for others. This isn't a random occurrence but a natural progression of your self-exploration. You see, when you're aware of your own dark side, you're more likely to perceive the hidden depths in others. You're more capable of understanding that their actions and reactions, like yours, are often driven by hidden fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. You're no longer quick to judge or dismiss, but rather you're inclined to empathize. Empathy fundamentally is the ability to step into someone else's shoes, to understand their feelings and perspectives, and to use that understanding to guide your actions. It's an emotional resonance, a vibration that connects people at a profound level, and as your shadow work progresses, you'll find your empathy deepening, broadening, becoming a tool for building meaningful connections. Compassion, on the other hand, is empathy and action. It's not just understanding another's pain but also wanting to alleviate it. As you become more compassionate, you'll find yourself acting more kindly, more considerately. You'll become a source of comfort and support for those around you, a beacon of light in their darkness. Fundamentally, as you embrace your shadow self, you're not just healing yourself but also reaching out to heal the world around you. Chapter 19, Transcending limiting societal conditioning. Many of us are unconsciously bound by societal expectations and norms, often limiting our potential and personal growth. You might have been told what you should do, how you should look, or how you should behave. These societal pressures can stifle your individuality and may prevent you from exploring your dark side, your truest self. Recognize that societal conditioning isn't necessarily your enemy. It's a part of our human experience. It's there to provide structure and order, but it becomes a problem when it limits your authenticity, your desires, your dreams. It's like a tight shoe that restricts your movements. You need to loosen it up to walk freely. Transcending such limiting societal conditioning requires courage, self-awareness, and introspection. Start by identifying those beliefs that aren't genuinely yours. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me or limiting me? If it's the latter, it's time to let it go. Embracing shadow work can be a potent tool in this process. It's all about accepting your Hidden aspects, even those that society might deem as unwanted or negative. It involves sitting with your discomfort, exploring your fears, and confronting your inner demons. Chapter 20, Cultivating a Balanced and Integrative Lifestyle. Having navigated the often challenging domain of societal expectations, you're ready to take the next step in your self-discovery journey by creating a balanced and integrative lifestyle. This isn't about perfection, but rather a pursuit of wholeness and acceptance of your light and dark sides. As part of a harmonious self, while it's easy to be swept up in a culture of always on, you need to remember that balance isn't a destination, it's a process. It requires vigilance and self-awareness. It's about tuning into your needs and understanding that it's okay to take a step back when things get overwhelming. Developing an integrative lifestyle, on the other hand, asks you to invite your shadow into your daily life. It's about recognizing and honoring the parts of you that have been hidden or suppressed. This might feel uncomfortable, maybe even scary, but it's a vital part of the process. It's not about eradicating these parts, but understanding their purpose and learning how to work with them, not against them. The beauty of this approach is that it encourages growth and self-compassion. It allows you to nurture your whole self, not just the acceptable parts. By embracing your shadow, you're fostering a deeper connection with yourself and cultivating a more balanced and integrative lifestyle. In doing so, you're not only acknowledging your dark side, but also recognizing its potential to be your best friend. It's a journey, but one well worth taking. Chapter 21, Navigating the Journey of Shadow Integration. Venturing on the journey of shadow integration, you'll likely encounter a myriad of emotions. Fear, anxiety, and self-doubt might appear, but remember, it's all part of the process. These emotions aren't your enemies, but signals indicating the areas of your psyche that require attention and understanding. Shadow integration isn't about eliminating your dark side, but recognizing and accepting it as a part of you. It's a reconciliation of the conscious and unconscious mind, a harmonizing act that brings wholeness. This journey isn't a one-time event, but a continuous process of self-discovery and self-improvement. It can be beneficial to visualize this journey. Imagine you're in a dark forest, each tree representing a different aspect of your shadow. Some trees are larger than others, representing more dominant traits. As you navigate this forest, you're not trying to cut down these trees, but rather understand why they're what they represent and how they contribute to the overall landscape of your personality. The key isn't to judge or resist these aspects, but to approach them with curiosity and compassion. This can be challenging, especially when confronting traits that have caused pain or discomfort, yet it's in these moments of discomfort that profound growth occurs. Chapter 22, Practical Techniques for Shadow Work Exploration. Often you might find it challenging to tap into the hidden recesses of your mind and confront your shadow self. It's a formidable task indeed, but with the right techniques you can make this exploration more manageable and meaningful. The first method you can try is journaling. This isn't about recording what you ate for breakfast or your plans for the weekend. Rather, it's about documenting your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to different situations. It's about noticing patterns, identifying triggers, and reflecting on responses that may suggest hidden aspects of your shadow self. Meditation is another useful technique. It's not just about calm and tranquility, it's a way to silence the external noise and tune into your internal dialogue. As you sit in silence, you're likely to become more aware of the thoughts and feelings that typically go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Dream analysis can also provide valuable insights. Your dreams are a window into your subconscious, and by examining them closely you can uncover hidden parts of your psyche. Lastly, consider shadow work therapy. This involves working with a trained therapist who can guide you through the process, providing support Insights and tools to help you navigate this journey. Chapter 23, Creating a Safe and Supportive Environment while harnessing these techniques to explore your shadow self. It's equally important to create a safe and supportive environment for your journey. This isn't just about physical safety but also about emotional and mental well-being. It's about creating a space where you feel comfortable to explore, confront and embrace your shadow self without fear of judgment or criticism. You might be wondering, how can you cultivate such an environment? Initially, it's vital to set clear boundaries. Decide what you're willing to confront about yourself and what's off limits. It's okay to take it slow. You're not racing against anyone. Your shadow work journey is unique to you and there's no need to rush. Secondly, surround yourself with positive influences. This could be supportive friends, mentors, or even online communities dedicated to shadow work. These people can provide you with validation, encouragement, and even share their own experiences, which can be exceedingly valuable. Lastly, practice self-compassion. Shadow work can be challenging and it's inevitable that you'll encounter parts of yourself that you're not proud of or comfortable with. In these moments, it's necessary to remind yourself that everyone has a shadow self and confronting yours is a brave act of self-improvement. Chapter 24, Integrating Shadow Work into Daily Life. The journey of shadow work doesn't end with the initial exploration and acceptance. It's an ongoing process that can be woven into your everyday life. It's not about treating your shadow as a foe to be defeated or a mystery to be solved. Instead, it's about embracing it as an integral part of yourself, a source of strength and wisdom. This isn't always easy, but it's essential for your self-growth and emotional well-being. Imagine your daily life as a canvas and your actions, thoughts, and feelings as the colors you paint with. Integrating shadow work into this canvas means acknowledging and accepting the darker hues. These aren't imperfections, they add depth and richness to your self-portrait. It's about honesty, acceptance, and learning to love all parts of yourself. So how do you do this? Start by paying attention to your reactions when you notice yourself feeling angry, jealous, or insecure. Don't push these feelings away. Instead, pause and reflect on them. What are they trying to tell you about your needs and fears? Next, practice self-compassion. You're human and it's okay to have flaws and make mistakes. Instead of berating yourself, show the same kindness and understanding you to a friend. Integrating shadow work into daily life isn't a one-time event, it's a continual process of self-discovery and acceptance. But remember, it's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming whole, and that's a journey worth taking. Chapter 25, Sustaining the Transformative Power of Shadow Work. In your journey towards self-discovery, maintaining the transformative power of shadow work is essential. It's not a one-time deal but a continuous process of acknowledging and integrating your darker aspects into your conscious self. You'll find that it's a dynamic process, constantly evolving as you grow and change. Sustaining this transformative power requires a commitment to self-reflection. It's about stopping to question, why did I react that way, or where did that thought come from? These moments of introspection allow you to identify any shadows lurking beneath the surface. It's okay if you don't fully understand them yet. This is a journey, not a race, and each step offers its own revelations. Remember, shadow work isn't about eradicating your darker side, it's about understanding it, acknowledging its presence, and harnessing its power to fuel your personal growth. Your shadow side is a part of you and it's there for a reason. It can be your greatest teacher, showing you where you need to grow and guiding you towards a deeper, more authentic understanding of yourself. There will be times when it feels tough, but don't let that deter you. Embrace these moments as opportunities for growth. The more you engage with your shadow, the more it becomes a catalyst for change rather than a source of fear or shame. And remember, this is your Journey. Trust yourself, trust the process, and see where it leads you in the end. Sustaining. The transformative power of shadow work is about embracing all aspects of your being and using them to become your best self. Embrace your shadow, for it's the silent whisperer of your deepest fears and desires. Plunge into its depths and you'll unearth hidden gems of self-awareness. This, my friend, is the essence of shadow work, confronting your inner darkness to illuminate your path to authenticity. It's not an easy journey, but the transformation. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of shadow work, reading Book 10. May these insights guide you in embracing your whole self and stepping into your power. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your reflections below. Until next time, keep shining light on your shadow.